Newsfirst at 9. Headlines.
A very good evening and welcome to the news at 9. You're joining me live from the Newsfirst Centre in Colombo. I'm Katerina Chang and these are your headlines tonight. Jordanian prince nominated to replace Navi Pillay as UN Human Rights Chief. 11 more Sri Lankan fishermen arrested by Indian authorities. President Rajapaksa orders the introduction of a government-certified price for fish. Met Department issues weather advisory to fishing and naval community for the next 16 hours. Let's now join the main news desk for details of these stories and much more. Well, thank you, Katrina, for bringing us the headlines. A very good evening to all our viewers. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. Let's take a look at the stories in detail now. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Navi Pillay, who will be addressing the 26th session of the UN HRC on Tuesday, is expected to reveal to the Council that the OHCHR has put in place a team to conduct an investigation into the war in Sri Lanka. Now, this will incidentally be the final occasion on which Pillay will be addressing the UN HRC session as the Human Rights Chief before stepping down.
An advance copy of the UN Human Rights High Commissioner's opening statement for the 26th session of the Human Rights Council reveals that the OHCHR has assembled a team to investigate into the allegations of human rights abuses during the final stages of the war in Sri Lanka. The document reads, quote, "My office has now put in place a staff team that will be supported by several experts and special procedures mandate holders to conduct the comprehensive investigation mandated by this Council in order to advance accountability and thus reconciliation," unquote. Navi Pillay, during her opening statement, is also expected to call on the Sri Lankan government to take this as an opportunity to cooperate to create a credible truth-seeking process. Meanwhile, UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon has nominated Jordan's permanent representative to the UN as the new High Commissioner for Human Rights. Following the consultations with the chairman of the regional groups of member states, Ban Ki-moon informed the General Assembly of his intention to appoint Prince Zaid Riyad Zaid Al Hussein as the chief of the human rights body. Al Hussein will replace Navi Pillay, who was appointed High Commissioner for Human Rights in July 2008, and her mandate was renewed for 2 years beginning September 2012. 50-year-old Al Hussein graduated from the Johns Hopkins University and received a PhD from the University of Cambridge. He has also held the positions of Jordan's ambassador to the United States and non-resident ambassador to Mexico, as well as deputy permanent representative at the UN with the rank of ambassador.
Speaking in Parliament yesterday, UNP members requested the government to stop blocking a number of websites. The issue was raised during yesterday's adjournment debate.
The editors of these websites as well as their staff are facing threats. We ask you why you want to stop the flow of information through such websites. Do you have doubts that these websites will be able to reveal corruption within the government?
If there is some sort of defamation, a case can be filed at the district courts and they can seek compensation. This is the path that should be taken. This should be how a civilized government or state acts. Identifying opposing journalists as terrorists and using technology to suppress them is not democracy. If you are gearing up for a presidential election by suppressing, opposing or alternating views, then you are betraying the entire nation.
If there are any legal obstructions, then they have the right to seek legal redress. Allegations can be leveled at people who have public lives. However, they have no right to level charges at family members. What redress do they have? We cannot let individuals sling mud and destroy the lives of people.
Before going to courts, we need to know whether these sites have been banned by the government or the TRC.
If you say it has been blocked, then you can go to court. The government has a responsibility to maintain a civilized society, and it also has the right to block content which could disrupt this, be it through websites or other forms of media. We are duty bound to do this.
Thank you.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa has instructed the Minister of Fisheries to formulate a mechanism to introduce a government-certified price for fish. The President has issued these instructions at Temple Trees last evening during the meeting to discuss issues in the fisheries sector.
A number of public representatives, including Minister of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Development Rajitha Senaratne, were present at this meeting. President Rajapaksa had pointed out that by providing a certified price, a number of issues faced by the fishing community can be rectified. The Presidential Media Unit said that the President instructed the officials to reach a decision in this regard after discussing the matter with the fishing community, the Ministry of Fisheries and the Treasury. Also speaking at the meeting, Subject Minister Rajitha Senaratne explained the damage caused by certain fishermen who engage in fishing using dynamite. President Rajapaksa had then informed the IGP to take immediate measures to apprehend fishermen who use such techniques. The Presidential Media Unit also noted that attention was focused on the progress of government projects aimed at empowering the fishing community.
Newsfirst bagged 2 awards at the 2013 Raigam Tele Award ceremony, which was held at the BMICH yesterday.
A distinguished gathering including Senior Minister Ratnasiri Wickramanayake were present at the 10th Annual Tele Award ceremony. A 5-member jury headed by Professor Patrick Ratnayake selected the award winners this year. The Gum at the program, produced by Newsfirst, received a special jury award. The Gum at the program is a novel initiative by Newsfirst to bring together people and decision makers onto one platform and have the people's grievances responded instantly.
Diriya Minisun Udesa
සාම්ප්‍රදායික පුවත් වාර්තාකරණයෙන් නොකොට ගොස් ජනතාවගේ කාලීන ගැටලු නිර්මාණාත්මකව සාකච්ඡා කළ සිරස ටීවී නාලිකාවේ විකාශය වූ ගම් මැද්ද කාලීන වැඩසටහන.
Meanwhile, the Muhunata Muhuna program, produced by Newsfirst, bagged the award for the best political discussion program at the Raigam Tele Awards. The program was produced by Newsfirst Radhika Vijayveera and was hosted by Susil Kindalpitiya. A number of musical acts added colour to this year's award ceremony. Jagat Chamila picked up the awards for the most popular teledrama actor. Asha Idrisinghe meanwhile won the award for the most popular teledrama actress. Veteran cameraman M.D. Mahindapala and veteran actress Ramya Vanigasekara received special merit awards at the ceremony held yesterday. Parakrama Niriyalla and Dr. Jayalat Manoratna were the recipients of the honorary Pratibha Prabha Awards. Jackson Anthony was adjudged the best teledrama actor. The best female actor award was won by Nilushika Fernando.
It has been reported that the Indian Coast Guard had arrested 11 Sri Lankan fishermen today. The Minister of Fisheries says that at present there are 17 Sri Lankan vessels and 94 Sri Lankan fishermen in Indian custody. Indian fishermen who were detained in Sri Lanka were recently released in an effort to strengthen bilateral ties between the two nations.
11 fishermen who were aboard the Tikiri and Dulaj Puta multi-day fishing vessels have been arrested by Indian authorities. The Ministry of Fisheries says that the fishermen were arrested for breaching the Indian maritime boundary. One vessel had set off to sea from Dondra with 5 fishermen on board, while the other had set off from Trincomalee with 6 fishermen on board.
My husband set out to sea from the Dondra harbour on the 27th of May. We were notified by another vessel that they were arrested by an Indian vessel. He's our breadwinner. Please rescue him. Both my sons set off to sea on the same fishing vessel. Among them is a father of 2 and the other is unmarried. Please rescue my sons and I request the Indians to release all the fishermen.
The arrested Sri Lankan fishermen have been handed over to the Tamil Nadu police.
The Sri Lankan government released all the Indian fishermen in Sri Lankan custody. Likewise, Sri Lankan fishermen in Indian custody need to be released. We have written to our government in this regard. We have also informed the respective ministries to release their vessels as well. We have already informed them to release the fishermen who were arrested today. We believe that they will be released soon. Because of the actions of both nations, our lives are affected. Both countries need to find a solution to this via discussions.
අද අපිට ගානාවික ගමන් මාර්ගය අහිමි වෙලා තියෙනවා ඉඩම තියෙනවා පාර නැහැ වගේ.
We have lost our maritime route. It's like we have a plot of land but no road to get to it. Their ships can go anywhere but we cannot. This issue first arose when vessels were travelling to and from the Arabian Sea were arrested. This happened as per the orders of Jayalalitha. They want to get the vessels released first. However, we want our people to be released. That is the difference between us. Although we release their fishermen, they do not release our fishermen. Because according to Jayalalitha, what is important to them are vessels.
As a gesture of friendship, we release their fishermen and we expect that they will respond to it. We will have to reach a decision on this matter during the future discussions. When the President called on the new Prime Minister at the state event, it was decided that all these discussions need to recommence. We do not see any attempt being made to recommence these discussions. We are making a request from all the fishermen. Do not stray into their waters in an illegal manner because they will make arrests. This is strictly enforced in the state governed by Jayalalitha.
What do you think about the arrest of Sri Lankan fishermen by Indian authorities? You can share your views on our website www.newsfirst.lk. Taking a look at other local stories, Deputy Chairman of the Karuwala Gasrava Pradeshya Sabha, Chaminda Ruwansiri, who was arrested for obstructing police duties, has been released on bail. Although the police had attempted to produce the Deputy Chairman in court, it proved futile due to a demonstration by area residents.
A team of police officers attached to the Saliababa police were deployed to the area to carry out a raid based on a tip-off that sand is being transported illegally. At this instance, the police arrested an individual while he was transporting sand illegally and also seized the hand tractor which was being used. According to the police, a group including the deputy chairman of the Karuwala Gasrava Pradeshya Sabha had arrived at the scene and obstructed police duties. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana stated that 4 other persons had arrived at the scene thereafter and had taken away the arrested individual and the hand tractor.
මේ ට්‍රැක්ටරය පොලිස් බාරයෙන් රැගෙන ගොස් සැකකරු මුදාගෙන ගොස් තිබෙනවා.
The suspect and the hand tractor, which was under police custody, were taken away by 4 other suspects. This is not the first instance where a local politician had obstructed police duties. These kinds of people should not be given the opportunity as public representatives to obstruct law being enforced. They cannot be allowed to exert pressure on the police. It is not the police force that is affected through actions such as this. It is the rule of law in this country.
අපකීර්තියට ලක් වෙන්නේ මේ රටේ නීති ආධිපත්‍ය තමයි එකෙන් බිඳ වැටෙන්නේ.
However, the deputy chairman of the Karuwala Gasrava Pradeshya Sabha, Chaminda Ruwansiri, denies these allegations, saying he did not obstruct police duties.
I went there and spoke to them quite cordially, saying, "Do not take away this innocent man's landmaster." Then the officer said, "No, we have to carry out our duty, so we have to seize this." Then I said, "All right, I will come along with you to the police station on the landmaster." So I got into the tractor from the driver's side. Then the police officer, who was already seated on the left-hand side, got down and came in a motorbike which was behind us. A police officer got on from the opposite side. No one was in uniform. So this officer came and lodged a complaint saying that I had manhandled an officer. This is a complete lie.
When the police attempted to produce the deputy chairman before the acting magistrate of Putlam, a group of area residents arrived at the location and voiced their protest. Minister of Civil Aviation Services Priyankara Jayaratna also intervened into the matter.
එයා කඩුසර වෙනවා ප්‍රාණමියා කියන්නේ නෑ නැත්තම් ගැහුවා නම් ඇත්තට මමත් ගහනවා දැන් ඉතින් මේක සඳු අර කට්ටිය දෙන්න ඒ කට්ටිය දෙන්න ඊළඟ මට අපයක් දෙන්න මම හරි ඒකට අපි වෙන්නම් මේක උසාව දාන්න මට මේ දැන් මේක තමයි මාර්ජින් ප්‍රොසෙස් කරනවානේ සඳු බලන්නකෝ මම ඉන්න ඔරිජිනල් වටින් කරලා පුළුවන් දේ කරන්න.
Our correspondent said that following a long discussion between the SSP of Puttlam and Minister Priyankara Jayaratne, the deputy chairman was released on police bail.
This incident is quite disappointing. We were compelled to release him at the time because a large group of people had surrounded the police station. They acted in such a manner because various private organizations have enticed them to engage in illegal acts. However, we will take action against this individual.
The deputy chairman and the 4 other suspects who were arrested alongside him were placed in remand custody until Tuesday after they were produced before acting magistrate of Puttlam.
The Department of Meteorology states that thunder showers could be experienced in the central Sabargamu western provinces as well as the Gaul and Mathura districts over the next 16 hours. The department goes on to note that within this time period, the sea areas off the coast extending from Kankasanture to Puttalam may experience winds with speeds of up to 70 to 80 kilometers per hour. Now, as a result of this, the Met Department requests the fishing community to remain vigilant when setting out to sea.
The Disaster Management Centre says that 110,743 persons or 26,992 families have been affected by the extreme weather conditions that have battered several areas in the island. The Kalutara district remains the most affected. However, floodwaters reported from most parts of the districts are now receding. We were also able to witness the manner in which houses which were affected by the inclement weather were being cleaned up. The Disaster Management Centre states that 77,203 individuals belonging to 18,634 families in the Kalutara district have been affected due to the extreme weather conditions. It has been 6 days since my house has been inundated. A Grama Seva office also inspected my house. I live in this house with 2 of my children. A group from Anuradhapura distributed dry rations to those who were displaced in the Galkati area in Kalutara. Meanwhile, area residents of the Ambagaskanda, Mahagama area in Aglawata, who were also affected by the inclement weather, are continuing to face difficulties in securing food and lodging. Incidentally, 3 persons died as a result of landslide in the area. There is no monetary relief. There is no place to stay. We do not even have food. The Road Development Authority have taken measures to remove fallen rocks in the Akula area in Bambaralla, situated along the Horanamathugama main road. Several areas in the Gampa district still remain inundated. Furthermore, residents from 17 houses in the Gonging Tote area in Watala have been evacuated and have sought refuge in a school in the area. They stated that the principal of the school has requested them to vacate the premises. Minister of Public Relations and Public Affairs Mervin Silva visited the school.
මම පණ පිටින් ඉන්නවනේ මට අඩු ගානේ මගේ ටෙලිෆෝන් නම්බර් ගන්නවනේ කිසිෙක් කෙනෙක් දෙන්නවා මං කියන්නේ දැන් ගම් වතුර අඩු නම් ගෙවල් වලට යන්න පුළුවන් නම් යන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ යුතුයකමක් මම ආදරයට කියන්නේ හැරෙන තැන හොඳේ කියලා කෙඳි ආරන් රැස් වෙන්න එපා හැමදාම පිනට ගන්න හිඟමනේ යන රැස් වෙන්න එපා.
Meanwhile, the epidemiology unit of the Ministry of Health states that there is a risk of communicable diseases spreading and has urged area residents of affected areas to take precautions when utilizing water. Furthermore, the unit added that there is a rapid spread of dengue as a result of the weather conditions.
Welcome back to the news, and up next is a look at Action TV.
On the 17th of February 2013, Action TV revealed that 168 families of the Variapola Divisional Secretariat area who were relocated from their land due to the proposed Daduru Oya irrigation project have now been resettled in a proper manner. 65 of the 168 families who claimed ownership for property were resettled in a jungle that belongs to the Karuwala Gaswava Divisional Secretariat after setting up a hamlet called Marnel Gama. Subsequently, another 83 families were settled in an area nearby after naming it Nelum Gama. Residents of both villages are affected by the wild elephant menace. The only difference between the two villages is based on land ownership. Those in Marnel Gama have received 1 acre of paddy land and another acre of farmland, while those in Nelum Gama have received only 1 acre of both paddy and farmland. This is but one of the problems faced by these area residents. The first batch of water from the Daduru Oya irrigation project is due to be released in the month of October. On the 6th of May, Action TV revealed the state of affairs that came into being when 20% of the reservoir was filled in preparation for its opening. Lands which come under the purview of the Variapola Divisional Secretariat, which were not supposed to be inundated, were flooded when the reservoir was filled. Meanwhile, the Divisional Secretary of Ganewata also claims that a similar situation is affecting his area as well.
We had a field trip on the 29th of May on the request of various parties. During this trip, it was revealed that areas that were not evacuated are under the threat of inundation. Considering the situation that arose following the filling of 20% of the reservoir's total capacity, it is evident that another phase of evacuating, resettling and compensating another group of persons is essential. There is no proper plan. They should have a master plan when carrying out projects such as this. They do not have such a plan in place.
Some have been given compensation for the land. They have got compensation, but their land is fine. Our land has been submerged.
The plan to release the first batch of water from the Daduru Oya reservoir in October is expected to take place when the reservoir is at 70% its capacity. Can the fears of great disaster be shed away when aiming at such a target? Director General of Irrigation, this is over to you.
Leader of the Democratic Party, Sarath Fonseca, commented on the education and health sectors in the country during a public rally in Sella Kataragama.
There are over 375,000 children who are deprived of higher education. They cannot allocate money for this purpose. A sum of 20 million rupees is allocated for the health sector. This is for the total population that exceeds 20 million. It amounts to around 1,000 rupees for each person. 40% of the drugs that are imported are stolen. Therefore, only 600 rupees is allocated by the government for a person. This is the money that is used to build hospitals, maintain them, pay the salaries of doctors and staff. When all this is down, each individual receives around 100 rupees from the government. Sarath Fonseca also engaged in religious activities in the sacred city of Kataragama.
Investment Promotion Minister Lakshman Abewardena celebrated his 59th birthday today. A series of religious programs were held in line with his birthday.
Lakshman Abewardena visited the Devinuvara historical Vishnu Kovil and received blessings. Pirit was chanted by the Mahasangha invoking blessings on the minister who arrived at the historical Matara Bochwi. The minister subsequently visited the Hajar Appa Mosque in Matara.
United National Party parliamentarian Ravi Kannanayak expressed his views on education at a function that was held at the new town hall in Colombo today.
These children have a natural talent. However, the lack of funds makes it difficult for these talents to be brought up to a practical level. I forwarded a private proposal in Parliament yesterday to introduce a program which ensures that these children receive a proper education and to maintain the standards of education. I am glad that the government accepted the proposal to create an Educational Standards Council. The government noted that they would implement it immediately. MP Ravi Kannanayak handed over certificates to a set of students of a private education institute during their annual prize giving.
Time now for Crime Watch investigation.
Forensic investigations into the murder of an external degree student in Warapitiya, Matale have commenced. According to the police, 3 teams are currently investigating the murder. The victim, 23-year-old Lalani Nishani Warapitiya, was murdered on the 25th of last month in Warapitiya, Matale. Meanwhile, the body of a 32-year-old female, a resident of the Valimadi area, with laceration marks on her neck, was found in a shrubbery area close to the Gampola Teaching Hospital yesterday. The victim was employed as a caretaker of patients by a private firm. The police suspects that she may have been murdered while returning home following the end of her shift last morning. Not far from the crime scene, an unconscious individual who had consumed poison was discovered and was subsequently admitted to the Gampola hospital. The police had recovered a knife, a phone, a bag of clothes and a sarong at the scene. The magisterial inquest was conducted by Chief Magistrate and Gampola District Judge Upul Rajakaruna. The police suspect that the individuals may have committed the murder using a sharp weapon. The suspect is continuing to receive treatment at the Gampola hospital. The remains of the murdered victim was handed over to her relatives earlier today.
The Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority states that there has been a 20% increase in tourist arrivals during the month of May in comparison to the same period last year.
74,838 tourists arrived in Sri Lanka during the month of May in 2013. This number increased to 90,046 this year. 33,141 tourists originated from the South Asian region, with a majority of tourists originating from India. 19,476 tourists arrived in Sri Lanka from Western Europe during the month of May, while 17,812 tourist arrivals were reported from China and Eastern Asia. The authority notes that 624,178 tourists arrived in the country during the first 6 months of this year, adding that it is a 26.5% increase when compared to the same period last year.
And in sports news this evening, St. Peter's College Colombo, Kingswood College Kandy and Trinity College Kandy recorded victories in inter-school rugby league encounters that were worked off today.
St. Peter's College Colombo beat St. Joseph's College Colombo 16-11 at the Havelocks grounds to clinch the Reverend Father Basil Veeratunga Memorial Trophy. The Josephians were leading in front 11-5 at Lemons. However, the Peterites made a strong comeback to add 11 more points after the turnaround and went on to clinch victory. Kingswood College Kandy locked horns with Royal College Colombo at the Bogambara Stadium today. At the end of the first half, Kingswood College were in front with the scoreboard reading 14-6. The Royalists fought hard to get back into the game, adding 12 points in the second half. However, the lads from Kandy held their nerve to finish the game with a 19-18 victory. Meanwhile, St. Thomas's College Mount Lavinia took a beating from Trinity College Kandy as they were defeated 38-10. The game was worked off in Pallekele.
Well, that's a look at this Saturday's edition of Newsfirst Weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. Good night.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.